Pastor Tania, so a lot of us want to accomplish things in this new year that we're in. And we have our goals, we have the things that we want to do for God. So what would you say is key for us to staying persistent and for keeping the zeal? Because we can lose our passion for doing these things, evidently, whether if it's after a month, a few days, we got these things that we want to do for God. And it may not be spiritual things, but it may just be typical goals. But for some reason, it can be hard for us to stick through and carry through with our commitments with them. So, just kind of from a spiritual application or standpoint, what is something you think we can do to help us to stick to these?
You make a good point, Pastor Ligerian, because a lot of people, including myself, Pastor Ligerian, and probably those of you who are watching this video have fallen for that. We set our goals, we get very excited, and we start making lists. I know for me, I type it out in a document or in my notes, and then I write it down in my journal. I start talking to you about it, and then you're right, it can come spiraling down. But I believe 3 things that are key when you ask a question, a spiritual application for it. So how can we stick to those goals? How can we actually accomplish them? Well, one, I would say we want to have a plan. We need a plan, because we can make goals, but if we don't come up with a plan of how we're going to accomplish it, the details, what we want the end result to be, it's gonna come crashing down. Been there, done that. Second, I believe that we should gather the materials, because let's say someone is building a house, or when you all built the front porch, they had to gather materials to rebuild our front porch. Our front porch was this concrete porch that was just wild looking, let's just say.
So it may not be necessarily physical materials, but you're saying if whatever we need to accomplish that goal, for example, I want to wake up earlier, just making those arrangements that are necessary, right? So it may not be physical materials, but
it may be you need an alarm clock. We need to set a time. We need to come up with those boundaries that we want to set in place. And then last, we want to ask for help. When we try to do it alone, what if we get tired? What if we are going to feel like giving up? We are going to get unmotivated. So if we share those goals with someone, so we share our goals with each other, you will hold me accountable to keep going.
Good points. And you and I were reading in 1 Chronicles 22, for example, and we saw how David wanted to build a house for the Lord, the temple of God. And it wasn't in the Lord's plan for David to do this. It was actually in the Lord's plan for David's son, Solomon, to build this temple. But David still said, I want to build a house for the Lord. I want to do something for him. And I think this really relates to what we're talking about today, because we all want to do something for him. But it takes commitment. And we see David, that even though he wasn't the one to do this, he gathered them, he made the plan, he gathered the materials, and finally he had the help. He set up all the help that Solomon needed, that Solomon was going to need, so that Solomon, his own son, could do this good work for the Lord.
Yeah, he prepared them, and then he actually explained the plan to Solomon. He gave him the blueprint. So that also goes into line what you said, that we wanted to outlast us. So any plan, any goal that we're doing, we want it to be something that's going to outlast us, something that's going to be bigger than Tania, something that our children can benefit from, something that people in our ministry can benefit from, something that people that we on our jobs can benefit from, anybody that we kind of come in contact with. So if we're doing it with Jesus in mind, I believe he will bring it to completion. Kind of like in Philippians 1:6, when it says, he that hath being confident of this very thing, that he which hath begun a good work in us will perform it unto the day of Jesus Christ. So we also have the help of the Lord. So we can ask for his help, but we also want to ask for help from people that care for us.
Right. That's great, Pastor Tania. Thank you for that advice, because it can be tough for us to sit down and make a plan for what we want to do.
It takes time.
It takes time and takes some
Thinking.
thinking. Right. Then also we've got to, like you said, gather the materials. And so basically, what do we need to accomplish this task? What do we need to have in our possession? And we may not have it right away, but the scripture says that they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint.
Right.
So when we wait on the Lord, He'll give us the strength we need. He'll give us the resources.
Yes.
And as we're waiting on Him in prayer, He'll bring those
Right.
things to our lives. And so it comes with making that plan, gathering what we need. And you mentioned us gathering the materials from Home Depot to build that porch, my dad and I. And even when I was working with our bishop, we were helping, he reached out to me for help. And he had already gathered the materials to make a wishing well to put in the backyard. So those are great examples. But then thirdly, by us taking the time to ask for help.
Yeah.
I think that is so big, especially when it comes, it seems that men, us men have a harder time, and I can attest to that.
Oh, really?
It takes time to really open up and to say, I need help. And I've had this long range of mentality where thinking, I want to do this all myself. I can do it myself. And I wasn't wrong thinking that, but I was wrong with the fact in thinking that I could do all these things by myself. God didn't equip me to do all that He's called me to do by myself.
He's giving you a helpmeet.
Yes, He's giving me a helpmeet. He's giving me a spiritual family, giving me brothers in Him who I can lean on, and a spiritual authority who our bishop, and we call her Mama Kay. And so by having all of these wonderful assets in our place, God has called us to use them, called to use our relationships that we have. And so we want to leave you with, it's important to make a plan. It's important to gather all you need, and it's important to open ourselves up to the help that we need. And if we're going to do something for the Lord in these days, that's the kind of commitment it's going to take.
Absolutely. So let's open up to the help. Let's first start with asking the Lord, what are your goals for me this year? Where do you see me? What's the end goal? Because He also gives us vision. So that's what it was. He gave David the vision. David had a relationship with Him, so he would spend time talking to Him. So we want to have vision, and then we also want to build a relationship with Him. So maybe you may be thinking, well, how do I build a prayer life? How do so you can implement these three steps, coming up with a plan. So we include the Lord in our plan. Also, gather the materials. Okay, what do I need to, now this is what He shared with me, so now what do I need to do? And then ask for accountability. Hey, we will be accountability to you if you need it. Reach out to people who you trust and you love, and who you know will support you. We hope that this was able to bless you on today, and please share any feedback that you would like to share with us. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.